Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «ГолубьМира», где обсуждаем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about quality cycles and let's start with the definition.
You know, it's very funny. I met with this definition when I was working in Japan. It was a Toyota company, and yeah, I was completely fascinated by this. It was a very famous car producer, and everyone was so smart. And they hired me because I was working in Germany, and everyone was thinking that I will do an operational excellence and some other stuff. But suddenly, I found myself that I was learning much more than I was given. Yes, I was given some topics, some basic stuff, and so on. But I found a lot of things I never heard before, like Kanban, Kaizen, Mudamuri, and some other Yokopoku. And one of this also definition, it was cycles of quality. And I was thinking, what is this? This is so important. It's so строго звучащий, severe sounds.
Or rigidly sounds
Rigid
rigidly
sound, yes.
strict.
And suddenly I found that the several workers, just usual workers, blue collars, they were talking how to move something with a machine, how to clean the space, how to change some forms, and so on. And I was thinking, what are they doing? Why they do? Usually, when I was working on the plant in Cherkasky region of Ukraine, I never, as a worker, was thinking how to do something. I was always told by special man, it's like a master of the участка,
Sector.
Master of the sector, or maybe chief of цех.
Maybe department.
Okay, chief of the department. And so I just want to be as accurate as I could, but nothing more. But in Japan, a lot of people were standing after the work, and they were doing, I don't know how to even explain. You know, sometimes they were just standing not close to machine, and they imagine how to process some metal parts. So they were like imitating, like in VR glasses and so on. It was so unusual. Usually in my culture, we use this metal, we put it in machine, and we try to process it, and then we measure it. But this guy with closed eyes, with smooth movements, they were making all the same, but without touching any metal parts. And after they were discussing, you do it wrong. You should stand several inches by the right leg in front, and you should not twist your body in such aggressive way. So people were teaching each other some small parts how to do their jobs.
And knowing about Japan and slightly knowing about the Japan and the Japanese culture, I do believe that this skill might be like a part of maybe like some sort of like a philosophy or like part of some sort of environment. So if we can put some light on this, it also would be great. Like what is the part of?
Yes, it's nice. It's not a nice word, philosophy. Several weeks before, we were taking courses like Kanban and Kaizen, and I always was saying, you know, this is a philosophy. This is not about how to save money. This is not about how to save time. This is not about safety. This is about philosophy. And you know, while we were working in this quality cycles, I found that a lot of people were very attentive to small parts. If some guy will find piece of wire or maybe small bolt,
Probably screw
on the floor, everyone would take it, clean it, and offer to storage room. Maybe another person could use it. And you know, it was so different. I was remembering from our territories. In our territories, a lot of spare parts were laying in different places, and no one would take an old wire or old nail or old screw. Everyone was using just a new one and never will bend spine to take it from the floor. But another thing, you know, Japan people always using something what was broken. For example, if they put back on the floor, they would take it with glue and rebuild it. And they drink, for example, some soft drinks from previously broken mugs. And they not just take it from pieces to a single unit, but they also use so-called golden color to paint these scratches to show everyone I am reusing something, I'm not throwing it out.
Well, it's very fascinating to see like how you can use your resources when it's like a scarce, so that you actually can achieve a next level or maybe next levels of the perfection. And when we go back to the circles of quality, so can we also have a look at the building blocks or like maybe main principles that they built on?
First block is there are no such areas in which could not we apply this quality cycles. For example, if people go to the plant, they put special marks on paper, and according to this mark, they choose what to eat as a lunch. For example, fish, meat, and something else. And you couldn't switch. So if you marked, for example, if you apply, for example, for a chicken, you couldn't choose fish, because if you was first to another person, it wouldn't fit. So you eat something which was not prepared for you. Second, if, for example, you are late, if you are not going to eat, you should tell to somebody, and every worker would help you and give this information to a canteen that two guys from my territory would not go to eat. And everyone would eat everything from this, I don't know how to say, плошка, такая плошка, plate, like plate,
plate is a good.
But Japanese style. So they eat all small rice. So nothing would be thrown away. This is when we eat. We already talk about wire, about nail, about screw, and the same they will use, for example, even when they do oil cleaning. When you process some metal part, you will use some special liquid which will flow on this processed item. Sometimes it could be water with soap. Sometimes it could be machine oil. And what they do, they do not throw it away as we do in our countries. They will use a lot of different plate. They buy in shop separately, not by factory, not by plant, but by themselves. And they put them, and this oil will flow from one plate to another plate, and they will make so homemade filtering, and they will not ask for assistance of master, of some chief guys. They clean oil by themselves, and they feel like we're doing the right things.
And my next question, I'm probably thinking that, you know, the answer will be like there are no mistakes, knowing that Japanese culture, like how they really treat the like any you know, like missteps or whatever. But still, I would ask, if we speaking about the circles of the quality, what kind of type of mistakes people still might be making while trying to implement it?
The main mistake in this philosophy is not to stop everyone if you know that you are doing something wrong. For example, on Toyota, there were so-called red buttons, a lot of place with this red button. And if, for example, I know that we will make something unconditional brake,
Unconditional.
I should press the button. There would be a lot of flashlights, and there would be a noise, and everyone would look at me because there is a Kanban which will show on each place this button was pressed down. But there is a saying in Japanese language. Maybe I will translate it not in direct way, but when the line doesn't stop for a long time, it means this is a perfect line. This is a line which was under control of person who don't allow to push the button. So everyone should stop everything if you know that you do something in the wrong way.
And in the way that we want to influence such philosophy, let's say like to our team or to our department, or maybe even to even bigger group of people, like what should be the approach? Because sometimes I do believe there should be like a rebellious people, or people who might be, you know, like resisting, or people who just uh, tend to do stuff more traditionally or whatever. So what should be the approach in order to do this like a change management in a people's mind?
You know, when I was in Japan, I learned the easiest way how to do it. In Japan, you will get 5% of annual economy, which will apply it to your budget after your implementation. Maybe I should repeat it once more. So if, for example, I offer some changes, and these changes will lead us to economy, which will impact our budget, I will get personally 5% of annual revenue, which was done by these changes. So all Japanese people, they know that this is very useful. This is very почетный.
Honorable.
This is very honorable way how to earn money and to show everyone that you're thinking about how to do the job better.
Well, it really sounds that it has like very solid fundamentals and a very, robust practices in order to implement it, and even considering all of the cases from the implementation to the accomplishment of the task. My last question will be how knowing about circles of the quality would help to make this world a better place.
Maxim, a lot of skills which we connect to Japan, usually they are quite skillful and quite useful. Quality cycles, it's a tricky one. This is about a very small changes, and sometimes it's even doesn't worth of the time we spend on it. But Japanese are very proud of it, and they always want to save all kind of resources. In our country, for example, sometimes we open windows because we have a very hot temperature in our rooms, but never in Japan. They always sit in cold rooms, even children, and they have a flu because of it. But this is part of the culture. They never use as less as possible resources, not in a quality which will meet the requirements, but as less as many. So maybe for us, it's not so подходящий, suitable.
А мы рассмотрели навык, кружки, качества и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира.